Hello and welcome to Cheating Exposed. Today's story is Wife Wanted an Open Relationship. Now after she's tried it, she wants to call it off. Bear with me as I attempt to remain as unbiased as possible. About 2 weeks ago, after a series of strenuous and difficult times in our relationship, particularly revolving around sex, my wife decided she wanted to try an open relationship. It's important to know a few things, although I won't and don't have time to write the entire thing. First, my wife has had consistent fidelity issues. She claims or thinks she's either a mild nymphomaniac or just hypersexual. She said, in her exact words, "It's not you, you're great, I just don't think one man will ever really fully satisfy me sexually." At first, I was absolutely appalled. However, I tried to keep an open mind as we talked it out over the next few days. When I agreed, it was conditional. There were a certain amount of rules, no one from our past, to avoid redevelopment of intimacy. No one in our car or home or space we share together as a couple. Don't make the other person, or our son, suffer via schedule to make time for other individuals. Family is still first. Don't ask, don't tell. Don't lie if asked, but for the most part, let's mind our own business. Make sure your new friends understand their place. You tell them up front your intentions and where they stand. I shouldn't have to defend mine or her honor. I absolutely wouldn't accept her going home with men she met at the strip club she works for. Oh yeah, she's an exotic dancer. After a while, I came to realize that, except for a few parts, the rules were counterintuitive and kind of irrelevant. What difference does it make if she sleeps with someone from her past versus some new guy? Is it really better or worse for her to have sex only once per person and skyrocket her body count, or if she had repeated sex with the same few individuals, which could potentially lead to emotional ties? It doesn't really matter. So I told her that, other than things based on courtesy, like not having sex at our house or in family spaces, or taking a shower and brushing her teeth after intercourse before cuddling or kissing me or our son, the rules seemed to be a moot point. A day later, she came home 2.5 hours after she got off work. Like I said, don't ask, don't tell. So I was left to my own assumptions. The next morning, we were having a casual conversation. She looked up and said she did it and that she felt so guilty, even if she was allowed to. And a whole lot more along those lines. I asked if she wanted to stop this open relationship. She didn't say anything. The look on her face said, part of me does, part of me doesn't. To be completely honest, the vibe I got was that she finally realized how she was going to feel if I had sex with another woman. But at the same time, she was reluctant to give up her own right to extramarital intercourse. To try and get her real thoughts, I boiled down my question, why don't you want the open relationship? She answered, I don't want you to have sex with another girl. I felt this guilty over me doing it, so I know how it will feel when you do, for both me and you. Mind you, she's cheated on me several times. Not always actual intercourse, she claims never intercourse because I've never been able to prove that, but I've proven oral sex, for example. So there's complete reason to assume more. This is not her first extramarital experience. Okay, I said. So why do you want an open relationship? She replied, because I feel like I can't mess up. That I can't lose you over cheating again, because I will more than likely fuck it up again. And because I feel like you want it, or that it's not fair. No kidding. Now keep in mind, I haven't had sex with anyone. This seems unfair to me. Not necessarily from an eye for an eye mindset, but because she experienced it immediately and now wants to call it off before I've even had a chance. I went into this with an open mind, despite how I felt at first. Now I've allowed another man to sleep with my wife, and she's telling me she doesn't want this anymore? Seems hardly fair. From my perspective, she got a get-out-of-jail-free card and now wants to cut mine up before I even play it. In response to her 2 answers, I told her I was going to need some time. I had to think about how I felt about this, and what I wanted to do next. I'm obviously having many of the same thoughts you all are posting here. No, I'm not oblivious to my mess-ups here. Never have been. I've tried to be slow, patient, and loving to my wife for the last 3 years based on a few moral principles of mine. I made a commitment. And while I understand she did as well, but broke hers, I can't control how others keep their word. I can only control how I keep mine. She also struggles with very real and clinically recognized depression and anxiety. Not that these should serve as an excuse or a pass for her. But honestly, my patience has been taken for foolishness. So yeah, they kind of have been an excuse. In the middle of struggling with my emotions, between my moral compass, my broken marriage, and my somehow surprisingly successful parenthood, believe it or not, yes, her included, I decided to post here and more or less confirm what I was already thinking. Tonight, as she headed out for work, she basically told me I needed to have my decision ready by the next time we talked. That meant either I stay up for her to get home, or I wait and speak to her when she gets up mid-afternoon tomorrow. That kind of told me she wants me to leave. I know how much she's going to suffer when I do. Because believe it or not, you'd have to be there to see it, it's actually pretty clear she loves me and our family. Unfortunately for her, she's a chronic cheater and lacks self-control. Anyway, she says her anxiety can't handle being left in this unknown status. But she also says she's not willing to continue the open relationship. So, if I choose that, then by default, I'm leaving her. I've got two choices here. And I don't think she wants me to leave, but I do think she wants to get it over with, one way or another. I just found it ironic that even after all this, she managed to find one last way to steer the final moment to be on her terms. It makes me pseudo-sad for her, because I don't even know if she realizes she's doing it anymore. Things did eventually work out. I left her not long after these events, for pretty obvious reasons. I filed for divorce. And although the divorce dragged out into a 2-year-long process with a lot of little complications during that time, in the end, I was granted full custody of my son, and the marriage was officially over. Thank you again to those of you who reached out in support. I can't thank you enough. And although life still has its challenges, I'm no longer in that toxic, poisonous situation. Well, folks, that's all. Thank you all for listening. Please like, comment, and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.